Okay, you guys let me know. Am I audible? Hey, Roman, what's up? Uh, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Just let me know if I'm audible. Yep. Can you also hear me here? No, we don't have a guest today. It's just me. Let's see. Settings. Hold on. Okay, this and this. So I should be sending to different places. I think I'm sending to YouTube twice. One of them is in the short format, and the other one is the regular one for YouTube. Do I have two chats? Let me check. Hold on. Okay, so this is for we have Tom Petrowski. I think he's watching it on the vertical format, like on the shorts. I think it's working. Not sure. Can someone confirm that the shorts are working too? Yep. Andrea Borman. Yep. Now, for the ones that are watching on the shorts, what do you see? Because you will see the chat there as well at the bottom. So I'm not sure if it's gonna get confusing or not, but whatever. You will be able to read all the chats there. So all the chats should be unified and you should be able to read all of them on the screen, right? Let's see. Let's see if I can see them here. Chats are on the bottom there. Okay, you send that as a regular. Okay, so chat from shorts. One is from shorts. Chat from regular video. Okay. Yeah, but you have two options. You can watch it vertically or you can watch it as a regular live stream as well. You can choose, right? So you don't like to watch it on the vertical format, just switch to the regular YouTube app. I don't know how you will be able to find it, but both of them should work. I think we're sending to Twitch as well. We have Twitch. Let me see. Welcome to the chat. Okay, so this is, let's see, Twitch is working. Yep, this is from Twitch. I'm not gonna send to Twitter. Yeah, nobody watches there. Now I think I'm gonna need mods. Why so serious? You wanna be a mod here? Rumen, you wanna be a mod as well? I know these guys already. Is I don't know. I don't care what people post. You know, you can post whatever you want in comments as long as it's not ads and stuff like bots. That's what I care about the most. Bots. How do I make someone a mod? That's the question. Uh, 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 uh. Add as moderator. Okay. So I said Rumen, I'm gonna set you as well. Why so serious? Now on Twitch, we're fucked. That's where we get all the bot messages, so doesn't matter. It's just gonna stay there. Now, I haven't even planned this video, but the last video that I recorded, we did it this way. Which video was it? Let's see. Oh, yep. Was this one? Obsidian plus Neovim users, this Markdown Oxide. Yep. We recorded this one live, so we're gonna do something similar today. Okay, I'm just going to record the video, but I'm gonna edit it and gonna share it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna share it today or if I'm gonna share it another day. But the idea is that chat is part of the video as well. Yeah, the chair is too wobbly. It's because it's a yoga ball. That's why. So Wusa says that it was watching part 2 with Echasnowski. Man, that is a great video. Personally, I liked part 2 better than part 1. Part 1, Echasnowski was shy. He hadn't opened up yet. But in part 2, I don't know. I don't know. It had a better dynamic there on part 2. So, okay, just gonna plan here. What am I gonna be talking about? Let's see. Okay. This is the way that I create videos, by the way. Okay, I just think about what I'm going to say, like create an outline or something like that, and go from there. But mm, what is? See, how should we start? How should we start? Hmm. Okay, these are the things that I want to cover. Why would you use Lazygit versus mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I what else? Mm-mm-mm-mm. We're gonna demo how I do things in both of them as well. Oh, I also want to talk about Discord before I forget. That we Discord private messaging. Something. How to install Neogit as well. What else? So Freddy says, if I ever tried Macit on Emacs, I didn't. I haven't used Emacs, to be honest. But I have heard really nice things about it. Everyone that talks about Magit says great things about it. The nice thing is that Neogit is designed to mirror that experience on Neovim, right? So there is it here. So since I haven't used it, I'm not sure how similar it is, but according to the page, it says that it's inspired by Magit. If there's any Emacs users in the chat, you let me know if it's similar or not. You tried Emacs, it triggered a tsunami. I'm afraid of Emacs. I don't even want to get started with Emacs because I know it's gonna be months, and no. I've spent too much time on Neovim, so I'm not moving away anytime soon, at least. When some people don't like Discord, they usually start using Matrix. Yep. When I need to talk with Echasnavsky or with Justin from Neovim or with Gregory Anders or Maria Solano, I do it in Matrix Element because that's what they use. They're not on Discord. So I don't like it too much, but we'll see. We'll have to talk about it. Hold on. My daughter is saying something. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. What about Stoat? What is Stoat? You never heard of Neogit. Do you think the Magit experience should be available to command line and to users? Is it a TUI? Yep. Well, Neogit opens in a buffer, I think. You have different ways of opening it, but it's a Neovim buffer, if I understand correctly. And you just stage your stuff there, commit, and push as well. I'm not an advanced Git user, so I just do basic stuff. Usually for my dot files, I don't even create branches. I just send everything to main, and that's the way that I use it. But we're gonna take a look today. But what else do I want to cover? Let me see. I don't want the video to be too long. Now, the live stream, it may be an hour, a couple hours, but the video, I just want it to be around, I don't know, 10-15 minutes maximum. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how short it can go. I'm gonna learn about Neogit as we go through the video as well, because I don't know too much about it. I haven't even created branches in it. So we're gonna see if I can create branches, if you can create branches or not. You guys will let me know. Stoat is a matrix alternative. Are you using a bouncy ball? Yeah, I'm using a yoga ball. Oh, if I tried jujutsu, I haven't. Nope. Tony moved to Matrix. Yep. I think Matt from the Linux cast also moved to Matrix. We can talk about Discord right now. Okay. Let's see what chat says. We're going to do we're going to run a poll here. Let's see. Let me try to find a poll so that everyone can vote. Poll, okay. Here's the poll. Poll options. Good. Okay. Do you guys see the poll? I'm gonna put it here. Or should I put it? Yeah, I have to put it. It's difficult. Because there's some folks that are not gonna see it. Vertical format folks are not gonna see it, I think. Okay, so you just have to type 1 or 2 in chat. Are those the two options? Yeah, 1 or 2. And that should send a vote. So should we kill Discord and move to something else like Matrix? Where's the sound? What sound? I'm not talking. Just trying to organize stuff here on OBS. Okay, there. Da-da-da-da-da. This. Okay. Where's maybe? No, there's only yes or no. Start using Matrix, then slowly kill Discord with kind of deprecations, warning messages. Now, just one observation. Harry SVGX, how's it going? Stoat or Fluxer will be the best open source options for replacing Discord if you're trying to host a community. Matrix for direct messaging. There's like 10 active users in Discord. The rest of them, there's 400 members in Discord right now, a little bit over 400. But out of those, only like 10, 15 maybe post comments. So what's the point of keeping Discord anyway, right? So it's just, well, Discord is not even gonna care. They're not even gonna notice, but it's just a way of protesting. So I think we will be canceling Discord just as a way of protest, because I don't like being asked for my ID, you know, or yeah, it doesn't make sense. So I think that's what's gonna happen. What I don't know is where we are moving. Cancel the Nitro. Yep. I also canceled Nitro like, I don't know, a month ago because it didn't make sense. I was paying for it and it was like, nah, useless. So, where should we move to? And should we move to somewhere else actually? Because there's not a lot of people that comment. I don't have like a really active community, 10, 15 people. Yeah. All of the servers that I'm part of as well are tech related. But I just don't liked. I didn't like the fact that they are thinking about asking for an ID. So this is just gonna be an example for other platforms that decide to do the same thing. Because Discord is the first one, that is implementing this heavily. Other companies are just watching. They're gonna see what the outcome is gonna be, and depending on the outcome, they're going to enforce the same thing. So this is just the first one. So we have to shut it off. This tech is now not safe for work. I don't know. There's a lot of politics involved, I think. There's some government stuff going on there. Did you guys watch the Gamers Nexus video? You watch Jesus video? This one. Go and check this one out. So there's shady stuff going on there, definitely for sure. Politics involved. So I don't know. I think it's more like a message that we have to send as a community, that we don't agree to this because Discord is just the first one. Then what? Neovim is going to ask us for our ID. Your messages to your ID for surveillance. Yeah, I'm just kidding about Neovim. What happened to the poll? See? 3 votes only. All you have to do is type the number. Let's see what happens if I type here the number 1. Does it count? Oh yeah, it counts. Does it count if I vote here as well? I don't know. Does it count if I do it on Twitch? Let's see. I'm gonna send it on Twitch. I think it counts as well. Scan your face to exit Vim. I see why so many are against it. However, this is a way to ensure that younger crowds are not accessing content they shouldn't. Okay, now, what guarantees you that actually there's no way? I think the only way to avoid that is you as a parent being more involved, and not giving access to your kids. My daughter doesn't have a phone. She's not gonna have a phone. She's 8 years old right now. She doesn't have a tablet. She will not have a tablet at all. She has a Kindle, and I decide what books I put in that Kindle. My wife also decides which books we put in there, but she doesn't have access to the internet. Now, if she goes to school and a kid takes a phone, there's not much I can do there, and you know, that's out of my control, but it's more like a parenting issue, like a society issue. Discord is not gonna solve anything with that with this at all. Yep. Yeah, so let me see. I'm going to cancel this poll. How do I do it? Studio mode and where do I cancel this? Hold on. There we go. Yeah. Do you also guys do you follow this other guy? Hold on. Where is he? Pretty good actually. Pretty good advice. I don't remember his name, but it's a guy from India. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go here. There is this guy. Oh, Discord. Let's see. I'm not gonna find it. Discord. Fun. Oh, this guy. Some ordinary gamers. And he raised that specific point, it's like a parenting issue. But I'm not sure if you're subscribed or not. I don't know if I'm even subscribed, but I see his videos. Sometimes they pop up. He has good takes. So this some ordinary games. That access at will. Okay, but if you want to go through your ISP, and what if your kid uses a VPN or something, right? And they'll find a way. I don't think that's I don't think that's a solution though. You can have an ad blocker. You can have like something like AdGuard running your network. You know, I have my own DNS servers. I can point them to AdGuard and yeah, parental control. Yep. My daughter has a user on the computer because she uses it for homework, and I have AdGuard installed there, right? And very restricted YouTube stuff can block VPNs. Okay, now the question is, what should we do with Discord? Should we cancel it? Okay. Now, where is chat here? Why is chat not showing here? Where did I leave chat here? Okay, I moved it. Why is chat not showing? Okay, chat is here, but chat is not showing here. Why? Why is this happening? Oh, I see why. Okay. I have chat here. Let's see. I'm gonna try to send a long message. Let's see. Oh no, it's good there. Okay, good, 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 good. Gonna make it a little bit bigger. I'm gonna move it here. Okay, so that when I'm here, chat can still be seen there. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are not leaving Discord. Yeah, there's a lot of people that like Discord a lot. I use Discord to talk to friends, but I don't use it that much. The community that we have with the 400 users, not a lot of active people there, so it's kind of dead. So it doesn't make sense to keep it alive. So yeah, Discord is going away. When? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe today. Maybe I just wake up one day and you guys will not be able to see the server anymore. I don't know, but it's going away. Will I open a new server in Matrix? That's the question. I don't know. Maybe. Should we use the YouTube community thing? What is that thing anyway? It's really confusing. It's really annoying. I can see posts from community on YouTube, and it's like, what is this thing doing there? Should we move to something else? Something that is searchable on the internet, like Reddit. A lot of people hate Reddit, but you can search for stuff from Google, right? If you type something, you can search for stuff in Reddit. So it's useful, more useful than Discord in that sense. But it's just another company as well. Big company. A lot of people hate it. I'm not planning on self-hosting. I have two ISPs, so I'm not worried about the internet because I have two of them. So that's not gonna be an issue. But what's gonna be a problem is sometimes the light goes off for like 8 hours. My UPS gives me 1 hour, so that's not gonna work. So what is Lazygit? Okay. I've been testing something in Neovim, something pretty interesting, something pretty cool. You're gonna notice that I'm in my dotfiles here, right? So take a look at this, take a look at this. Let's see if it still works, okay? I wanna grab a file and I wanna take it somewhere else to another repo, okay? So these are my dot files. Let's switch to another repo. Which one can it be? Um, my, no, work, no. Blog post, yeah, that's in nah, so I don't wanna do that one. Let's go to my notes. Go to my notes. So this is my notes. This is my dot files. Okay. And let's go to my notes. Let's go to my test markdown file, the one that I open all the time. So take a look at this. I was playing around with this yesterday. This test markdown file, I want to copy it to my clipboard. So I'm just going to do space YY and copied to system clipboard. Can we confirm that it was actually copied to the system clipboard? Yes, we can. It's right here, right? So from Neovim, from the mini.files plugin, I copied it to my clipboard. What if I want to bring this file to my .files, which is a completely different repo, and I want to put it somewhere? What if I want to put it on this main directory? How did I paste? I don't remember. Let's see. Uh, Paste from clipboard, it's just P. No, I don't think it's just P. Let me see. Oh, there's a freaking dog. Okay, letter P, space P is to paste from clipboard. So let's see if it works. I'm gonna paste it here, space P. Oh, look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. The test markdown file is there, right? So this is a Neovim instance. This is another instance, right? They're not the same. So let's say that I take a screenshot. I'm just gonna delete this. Just gonna delete this file because I don't want to have it here. Where is it? Just markdown. Yep, on now. Let's say that I take a screenshot and I wanna save it. You know, I can paste them in Neovim. That's pretty easy. But let's say that I take a screenshot of this. Right? I take the screenshot. It automatically goes into my clipboard because that's the way that I configure CleanShot. That's the app that I use on macOS. So what if I want to store that screenshot here? Base P. And look at that beauty. Where is it? Here. Here it is. There is my screenshot. And I think this is useful. Why? Because If you have a real job, a lot of times you need to take files outside of Neovim and send them to through Slack, right? Or someone shares a file with you. And you're like, man, I have to go to freaking Finder, get the file, paste it. No, now I don't even need to leave Neovim. I can manage my files here directly. So I had a key map to preview this. Which one was it? Okay, preview with macOS quick look. Space I think. Or is it just I? Yep, space I. And it opens the preview for that image. Because unfortunately, mini.files cannot preview images. What's up with that, Chesnowski? Why can't I preview images here? So I have to open it in the macOS preview thing. Okay. That is neat. Yeah, it's actually pretty neat. Let's say that I want to share something with Discord. Where do we have Discord? We have Discord here. Let's bring them over to this monitor. Okay, I have Discord here. Hold on. Why is it all the way up there? Okay, so let's say that I want to share something with Discord. Let me move it to another desktop because it's there with the terminal. Okay, there. So what if I want to share this Grokvar with the Discord? No, you know what? Neogit. Let's share that with them. Space YY. Copied it to my clipboard. Gonna switch to Discord. I'm just gonna paste it here. And bam! From Neovim to Discord. I didn't even have to go to Finder and all that crap. You know, that's amazing. What if I have a file in my clipboard? Let's see what we have in my clipboard. I hope I don't have something that I shouldn't have here. Oh, this is a link. Okay, this is the image that I generated with GPT. What else? What else? What can I have here? Let's see if I go to Finder or if I come here. Yep, let's say that I copy this image to my clipboard. I'm just gonna copy it. It's in my clipboard already. But if I want to paste it here, space P, and bam, is right there. Space I, and open the preview, and I can see the image there. Okay, should we start with the Neogit video? Let's get started. Let's get started. Do we still have someone in chat? macOS workspaces. Uh, aerospace. Aerospace is not a decent window manager for me, man. Yep, I've been wanted. I want to talk to this guy, the one that created. What is it called? Rift. I actually sent him a message, and we were supposed to meet last week, but I didn't have time. Then he didn't have time. We didn't meet, but I want to talk to him. I want him to demo Rift. Where's this guy? What's his name? It's Doge. Doge, is that how you pronounce it? But yeah, I want to try Rift because it was written in Rust, so I assume that it's faster than Yabai. I don't like a virtual environment like aerospace. No, I want something that uses macOS native desktops. You know, I don't want another layer on top. No. So Rift, I think is gonna be a good option, but I haven't tried it. I don't want to try it. I want the creator to demo it so he can show us around and we can see what it's about. Does anyone use Rift here? I don't think it uses virtual spaces. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest. Anyone that uses it? But let's get started because I still need to learn about Neogit anyway. Okay. Right, folks. So, what are we going to be looking at today? We're going to be learning about this tool that I discovered. It's not a new tool. It's been around for quite some time. There's many other videos about it out there, but I have just tried it a few days ago. It's called Neogit, and I'm gonna compare it to Lazygit. Share what I like about each one, share my thoughts, and just demo how each one of them works. So, to begin with, why would you use one of these tools? Like, what's the purpose of using something like Lazygit? So let me switch to my terminal and I'll show you here. Okay, if I'm in my terminal and if I go to my dot files and just type the commands, right? Git status, and then you type git stage, git commit, git push. It's okay to do it that way, but after doing it 100 times, it gets old, it gets boring, it gets repetitive, it gets annoying. You don't want to do it at all anymore, right? So then people start creating aliases. So GC for git commit or GP to push or whatever amount of aliases. That doesn't make sense as well, right? If you're gonna commit to it, type the full messages or type the full commands like a Giga chat or just use something else. But aliases, they don't make sense to me. That's when solutions like Lazygit come in handy. And what is Lazygit? Let's demo that real quick. Just gonna switch here to my dot files, right? So instead of me doing the git stage, git commit, git push, or pull, I can do it from a TUI, right? So I don't have to be typing any of the commands at all. I just open the TUI and I can just put all my stuff there. I can push all my stuff in there, all pull or whatever I need to do. So in my specific case, I have a key map, which is right option G. That is going to open Lazygit. So to give you an example, what is the flow that I follow to push stuff to GitHub? Just a warning, I'm not a developer, I'm not a programmer. I just use this to keep my files in version control, my dot files and my notes as well. So I don't do crazy stuff. I don't even use branches. I don't do any crazy Git stuff, just basic stuff. So that's what we're gonna be covering this video. Okay. I will create a branch, I think, just to demo how I do it, but that's not something that I normally use. At my previous job, I actually created branches because whenever we needed to do a feature, I was some sort of a DevOps there. We did it through branches, and that's how we merged and all that stuff. But in my personal workflow, I don't use branches at all. Now, one other thing, if you're watching this video on YouTube or as a regular video, this is just a small portion of the real video. The long video was recorded as a live stream. You'll be able to find it in case that you want to watch the whole thing. We talk about a lot more stuff with chat there, so just go and check it out. What or how is the cursor animation added to the terminal? Okay, so there's a lot of different ways actually. Let me quit out of this. So if you're using Kitty, in your Kitty configuration file, you can search for cursor, and here it is. This is the cursor animation. Specify here the shape. Oh, are there different shapes? I didn't know that there were different shapes. What other shapes are there? I don't care. And you can specify here the thickness. That's what she said. Underline. Oh, no, hold on. The trail. Here it is. Cursor trail and the trail decay and the start threshold. These three. Okay. So that's what sets the animation. If you use Ghosty, you can do that as well. Here, cursor smear.glsl, and this, you do it through shaders, actually, if you're using the Ghosty terminal, right? So that is built into the terminal. And it doesn't matter if you're in Neovim or if you're outside of your terminal here. Look at this. It still works in here, right? So doesn't matter if I'm here or if I'm in Neovim, the cursor trail is still gonna work. If you're a Neovim user, there's a plugin as well. What is it? Smear cursor. It's not as polished. It doesn't look as good because it serves its purpose, you know. It's another option. If you don't want to enable it in Kitty or in Ghosty, you can use it as an even plugin as well, but it doesn't look as good as the other options. Connection keeps blipping. What do you mean? Does it cut off at times? You're in Western. Does it work for Western? I don't know if there's cursor trails for Western. Does anyone else have issues with the connection? Or is it just the Praxis with his internet problems? Connection just cuts for 5 seconds, then comes back. No problem. Okay, Wusa says there's no problem. Let's see if someone else. Can someone else confirm? Because I'm sending 20 megs right now. If you see here, my upload speed here at the very top is 20 megs because I'm sending right now to YouTube, 2 streams to YouTube. We're sending 1 stream to Twitch, and that's it. We're not sending to Twitter this time, actually. Yeah, you're the problem. Okay, so where were we then? Okay, so when I'm in Lazygit, how do I commit stuff and what do I like about it? That I don't have to be typing stuff. That's the main thing. I don't have to be typing repetitive, annoying messages that feel cool, you know, a couple times, 100 times, but after that, they just feel annoying, right? So here, I just open the TUI and I stage the files that I need to commit. I commit them and I push them, right? So just to demo this, let's say that we have this file here, LuaSnip. I like the preview that I get on the right hand side, you know, and I can scroll this preview and I can come here and see, okay, so I'm making this change. I'm removing what I have here. So this becomes this, and I modify this type sol type solution to type concept. I modified these words here and I added some other stuff. This is for some typed snippets, you know. And cool. I can see what I did here. I can kind of remember, and I can stage and I can commit this because I do like these changes, right? So what do? I just press space. As you can see here at the very bottom, space is going to stage the file. So let's do that there. Now, if we want to commit the file that we staged, we just type the letter C here at the bottom. Just going to type the letter C. This is the first thing that I hate about Lazygit. That I open this message and I immediately forget what the change is about. And this is on the way, right? This commit summary pane is right there in the middle, and it's blocking my site. And I just lost my memory. This resets my memory, and I'm like, what's this change about? So let's say that I start typing something. The cool thing is that you can close it and reopen it, right? But it's not optimal. So if I type here Neovim, do a snip, and then I forget what the commit was about. So I hit escape to go out. I scroll down here and I just review this again, and type solution. Okay. When I'm back, when I already know I refreshed my memory, I type C again and I just type my message. Modified types messages. This is just so that I remember in the future what it was about. And I do it this way. I know that I should use feet, or I don't know, the words here at the I don't care. I don't care. This is just for me. If I go to GitHub, I can see a history of all the commits and remember, okay, so I modified this file this day, just kind of like a journal or something, right? So when I already have my message here, I just hit enter. You're gonna notice on the window here for that this file has been committed, right? And it's ready to be pushed. I don't have to push it. I can commit other files, but you see how simple that was. I didn't need to do stage. I didn't need to do commit. All I did just type a few key presses, enter my message, and that was it. So let's say that I want to commit another file, right? But I don't want to commit the entire file, just part of it, just a few lines like Neogit. No, this is an entire file. As you can see here, this means new file that was added. M is for a file that has been modified, right? But let's see what we have here. Okay, nvim lsp config. So this one is related to Markdown Oxide. Okay, that's good. But this other one here at the bottom, these lines here are related to Harper. I don't want to commit these two in the same message, right? So how do I select what to commit and where? So let's hit enter. Was it enter? Yeah, enter takes me in here and it allows me to select hunks, right? So let's just scroll down here. This stuff that is selected here is the marksman part. Go down a little bit more. Okay, and this is the Harper section. Okay, so this is Harper. And if I go up with just K, it's gonna take me to the other hunk, right? This is the one for Markdown Oxide, okay? So let's say that I wanna make two different commits for this one. I'm just gonna hit space here in the marksman section. Notice that this moved to the staged changes. This is what I do day to day, okay? This is just basic stuff. This is what I use it for. We're not gonna cover advanced stuff at all. So once this is staged, if I type C as well, C again to commit, I'm gonna commit this part. And I hate this. I don't like that I cannot see what's behind, but I remember. I'm not that, you know, amnesiac or what is it? So Neovim and Vim. Now, the LSP doesn't work here because Lazygit is just an additional tool. So I cannot use blink here to autofill or to autocomplete what I'm typing. That's a drawback, not a big issue, not a big deal, but just something that you keep in mind as well, okay? Added markdown oxide. Okay, so there's my commit message. I'm just gonna hit enter here. And notice that I still have other unstaged changes for this file. I'm in this section right now. I'm just gonna scroll down here, and this is related to Harper. Okay, I want to commit, or I want to send this as part of a different commit. So I'm just going to stage this part. What is this about? Let's see. Enters. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit space here, C to commit, and Neo. I can use the up arrow, and the previous message is gonna show up there. And we're going to comment it. Hire Harper enters section because I was getting an error. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit enter here. And if I type the number 4, I can navigate to this pane here, right? If I type the number 2, 3, 4, I can navigate through these different panes. Doesn't matter where I am right now. I can be here on pane 2. How do I send these changes to GitHub? Or have they been sent already to GitHub? No, they have not. That's when you do the push on your terminal. When you do a push, that's what sends them. If we want to confirm that, let's go. Let's go to my GitHub repo. I have a key map in Neovim. If I type space F, is it capital G? Yeah, capital G is gonna take me to the exact same file that I was on, but on the browser here on GitHub, right? So you remember that I was in the .files latest, the ghosty file, right? When I typed that key map in Neovim, it took me to this ghosty config file, same file. Okay, here's the config file, same thing. So we come here, you're gonna notice that the commits have not been sent yet. The last commit that I have here is 17 hours ago, but I'm ready to push these changes from here. So I bring up again Lazygit, right option G, and where is the key bind? It's uppercase P, but just in case that you forget, there's always this search menu here. Okay, so if you type the, what is that called? Question mark, and you scroll through this here with just J, and you can search as well. I think you can search here. If you just do the slash, right, forward slash, and you just search here for push, you're gonna notice that to push, notice that I search in here at the bottom, push is the capital P, just in case that you forget, right? The first few times you will forget, but after a while, you just get used to it. So I'm ready to send these 3 commits. So I'm just gonna type uppercase P. Notice that it's pushing and they change to green, okay? So all of the changes that I had committed were sent. And this is way faster than typing the aliases even in the terminal, right? Because you notice that I have a lot of different changes that I have made here throughout the last few days, right? So I don't want to type all these messages in the terminal. I don't want to use aliases for this. It's going to take me some time, right? So for example, notice that I have some changes here in the spell file, right? So what do? I'm just gonna send the entire folder, right? So I'm just gonna hit space here, C to commit, spell, new changes. I don't care about this too much. I hit enter, uppercase P, it's pushed already. That was pretty fast. If I switch to my browser here, you're gonna notice that the 3 that I sent the first time are here, and the spell changes that I just sent are here, right? I type my messages this way because it helps me remember what I did, right? So I don't need to go into the commits. If I come here, to all the commits on this repo, I can see, oh, okay, so this day I added SharePoint to the Edge browser on this specific file. Okay, just helps me remind stuff of what I did on each specific day, actually. How do you switch branch? Ugh. Let's see. Branches in Lazygit. Okay. Okay. Let me quit out of here. Let's open it again because sometimes it's buggy. I don't know why it's buggy for me. Now, how do you deal with branches in Lazygit as well? If you come here to the pane number 3, notice that I'm in branches right now, okay? So let's say that I want to create a new branch, okay? So I'm just going to type the letter N here, and let's give it a name. Let's give it this name, okay? Repeat after me. Chat, what's that name? Okay, good. So I just hit enter here. Notice that I'm on that branch right now, okay? This is main here, and this is the other branch. Okay, I'm on the pane number 3. I can switch to 2, or I can switch to pane 3. I can switch to the main branch if I want, or I can switch back to this one, okay? What if I wanna send, or if I wanna commit some stuff on this branch? Okay, let's do it, it's fine. So let's go here to number 2, and let's just grab a file. Let's just grab something here. Doesn't matter what it is. Brew.sh. Okay, I fixed this file, I don't know, a couple days ago. Why do I have, oh yeah, I have all those comments there. Okay. This was a really weird bug that the clanker helped me figure out, because it was not showing me the correct amount of outdated packages here in Brew, but now it does. So it's useful. Okay, so let's send this to that specific branch. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the same process. Okay, space to stage the file, C to commit to it, brew.sh fixed. Incorrect, fixed, not showing. Of outdated packages. Okay. Let's just add something else here at the beginning so that I know that this is related to sketchy bar. Brew.sh. This is gonna help me remember. Okay, so it's sketchy bar because brew.sh tells me nothing, right? So if I just hit enter here and I'm going to push this change, okay, I'm just gonna type the letter P here and enter upstream. Okay, I'm just gonna hit enter here. Notice that is pushing the change. Did it push it? Okay, I think it did. Let's go back here. And there we go. Okay, Ligma Nuts has recent pushes 14 seconds ago. Let's just merge this back into main, okay? Because let's say that I do like this and I just want to, merge it back. So we're gonna sending from here, yeah, to main, create pull request. And then we're just gonna merge. Confirm merge. Merged. Okay, let's go back here. Yep, and there we go. Merge pull request. Okay, so the changes are here. Let's switch here back to main. Just gonna switch here to main, and I'm just gonna, oh, I have to switch to main with space. Okay, and there are the changes here. You see that I merged them. Do I need to pull? No, you don't need to pull. Okay, it says already up to date. How do you pull though? Let's say that you have multiple computers, right? And I push here and I want to pull the changes on my other computer and it becomes a mess, when you're working on the same repo yourself and you have multiple computers, it gets annoying really fast. But If you need to pull changes, you just do it with the lowercase p. Okay, so how do you find that? If I just type the question mark symbol and I search here for pull, you're gonna see that it's a lowercase p. Okay, and to push, here it is. Pull lowercase p and push is the uppercase p. So those are the things that I do in Lazygit, to be honest. I don't do much advanced stuff in Lazygit. Okay, that's pretty much what I do. I don't even use branches, like I said. In my previous job, I did use branches, but now, nah, in my dotfiles, I don't. So, yep, I did cover all of the stuff that I do here. The things that I don't like about Lazygit is that the message is right in the middle, the commit summary, and you cannot hide it. You cannot move it somewhere else. This should be down here, not covering this. And I did open an issue on the Lazygit repo. And before I forget about something, let me write it down here as well. Okay, why does this happen? So let me show you that issue that I created. Where is it? Now, there's something very interesting that you should be aware about as well about Lazygit. Who's the creator of Lazygit? Jesse Duffield. We all know this guy. He's a hero. He also created Lazy Docker. Is it called Lazy Docker? What else has this guy created? He has created a lot of stuff, right? Lazy Docker. That's all the ones that I know and the ones that I use. Lazygit, Lazy Docker, both of them extremely popular, right? But he stepped down. He is not the main maintainer of Lazygit. Now is this guy Stefan Holler. And where did you where can you guys see this? Maybe in discussions? Someone shared in Discord. Let's see. Can someone send it in chat? Can someone does someone have the link? Step down maybe? Step down. Maybe under issues. Step down. If someone in chat knows, just share that with me. Let me look it up in Discord. Someone shared it on which channel? That's the question. Neovim maybe? Where is it? Oh, okay, here it is. Stepping back as a maintainer. He sent this on June 2025, just in case that you guys were not aware. Started in 2018, and let's see the reasons. Step back and hand over the reins to my co-maintainer, Stefan Holler. Number one individual contributor. So he's going to return to it if time permits. He doesn't know when that will be. Okay. So what's the reason? Because of a startup, right? Okay. because he's founding his own startup, Sobble. So he cannot maintain both of the things, right? So just in case that you didn't know, that's what's going on with Lazygit. There's 776 issues open at the moment. I know it's a pretty huge project, pretty difficult to maintain. Could that be related to him leaving? I'm not exactly sure. But are these real issues? I don't know. Okay, but just keep it in mind as well. I opened a discussion. Let's see, was it an issue or discussion? Let's see. Oh, you know what? No, it was not an issue. It was a discussion. Can I filter it? I don't remember. Where is my... No, I don't know where it is. But I just opened an issue or a discussion to see if this could be moved out of here, from here down to here or somewhere else, but that doesn't block the view, right? So Lazygit, amazing tool. I love it. And I'm not sure if it's time to move to Neogit. Let's see what Neogit is, okay? Let's see what Neogit is. What do we have in chat? 4433. What is that one? Is that mine? Why are you opening it here? This is the one. So it was a discussion. Okay. Yep. So yeah, it's a lot of work apparently to have that done because it needs to be redesigned. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. Okay, so was just a suggestion. If you guys wanna read more about it, I just brought it up, but that ain't happening. Okay, that ain't happening. So let's see how the other tool works. What we have still in chat? You should switch to Emacs. Emacs, the top right search box of the repo. Okay. Okay, so that, let's see, where are we here? Okay, so that was Lazygit. Now we have this other tool called Neogit, and it says here in the repo that is inspired by Magit. So if there's any Emacs users still watching this in chat, let me know how similar it is to Emacs and if you recommend it or not. So here's the documentation for the installation. I use Lazygim, so I just pretty much copied this, pasted it, except for these. I commented these out because I used the snacks picker from Folky, but depending what do you use? Do you use Telescope, FCF, Mini.pick, or the snacks picker? That is the one that you want to leave commented and no, uncommented, and just comment the rest. Okay, let me show you my config real quick. Neogit, and here it is, exactly the same thing. So not much changes there. Did I modify something? No. This div view option is enabled by default, so you don't need to enable it, because as you can see here under configuration, default config. Here is the default config, right? So if we search for div view, you're gonna notice that, yep, where is it? Div view under integrations, integrations, div view, yep. But it's enabled. It's enabled by default, so you don't need to add this. It works pretty similar, okay? I'm using this key map space GG. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it up, space GG. You're gonna notice this interface now. Hold on, because my dog is barking. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. Okay, there. Okay, so it was not my dog, it was my neighbor's dog. Okay, now you're gonna notice that it opened it on a separate tab. Okay, look at this other tab here. Hold on, because my microphone is acting up. Let's just give it a moment. There we go. Sometimes it just gets crazy. So notice that Neogit was opened on a separate tab. We have one tab here and we have this other tab here. And how do I switch to that other tab? I have no freaking idea because I haven't done it. Letter SK, tab, next tab, it's space tab and open close square bracket, space tab and this, space tab, this. Okay, there we go. So I don't use tabs, but this is useful because I want it to occupy my entire screen. Okay, I don't want to have it in, a small section of the screen, but that is configurable. Okay, so if you come here, you're going to see that tab. Here is it, the different layouts here. The kind option can be one of the following values. Tab is the default one. You have all these other options. I don't care about these. Tab is perfect for me, so that's the one that I'm using. GT, default keybind without Lazygit. No, but I'm using Lazygit and I think that those are not the defaults. I think that I modified them. Let's see. Leader SK, ET. Uh, nope. Nope, no, 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 no. Leader, G, and nope. I'm not using defaults. I'm using Lazygit, and still on top of Lazygit, I create my own configs. So, but let's take a look at this. Notice that I have two files that are untracked. Okay, these files are new files. They showed with the letter with the two question marks on Lazygit. Here, you see that they show up under the untracked files section. These are files that have been modified. Okay, so we have this section here, we have this section here as well, and Here we have the staged changes. Why is this staged? What do you mean staged? When did I stage this? Did I stage it? Oh, I think I staged it in Lazygit maybe, right? So let's see, let's bring it up. Oh yeah, I staged it here, right? So it's fine. I'm just gonna quit out of here in Lazygit, and we're here. How do I unstage a file here? At the very top, you will be able to see the hints, right? S is to stage, U to unstage, C is to discard changes, now X to discard, C to commit, and if you need help, of course, the question mark. Okay, so let's just unstage this. I can navigate here like a regular Vim buffer, and that is just freaking amazing, right? Control U, Control D, that works. I can navigate GG to go to the top, or uppercase G to go to the bottom. Okay, so what if I want to unstage this? I just type the letter U and it unstaged the file. Let's say that I want to commit this file, but I want to see what the file actually has. So with the tab key, I can unfold this heading. We could think about it a little bit. So I can unfold it and I can see what's being added. All of this is being added for this file, which looks good, right? So I'm just going to hit tab here to fold it again. Let's say that we want to commit this. Let's say, what do we have in chat here? I thought you use your own Neobeans and Vim config. Is your Neobeans like integrated into your LazyVim config? Yeah, exactly. I use LazyVim actually, but Neobean is not like a distro or anything. It's just the name that I put on the dashboard. That's it. But I use LazyVim and I just add my configurations, my modifications to LazyVim. If you want to use my config, Neobean, just go to my dotfiles. On the main page, on the README, you will find the instructions on how to test it out. But keep in mind that I don't use Linux. I use macOS like a true GigaChat. So not all of the options will work for you if you're on Linux. Okay. So let's say that I want to commit this file. Same thing. The key maps are different. On the other one with space, you stage the files. So it's just muscle memory. Here is with the letter S to stage, right? So I'm just going to type the letter S here. That stage the file, puts it here at the bottom. Okay, so the only thing that you need to do after that is commit it. So I'm just gonna type the letter C. This is gonna show up. You can pass different arguments, stage all modifile and deleted files, allow empty commit, show diff of changes to be committed. This is useful. Actually, I haven't used this, but now that I read about it, it seems useful. But I'm gonna show you another way of looking at the diff as well. So there's some stuff that you can pass here as parameters. I'm not gonna pass anything. The only thing that I'm going to do is to commit. So if I type here the letter C, I'm going to get this where I can type the message, okay? There is an error that shows up. We're gonna see if the error shows up. But notice that this is not in the way. I can easily navigate down here and read, these are the changes that I'm pushing. I can navigate here, then I can go back to the window up here and I can type my commit message. Okay, so Neo, notice that the LSP works, so blink works, auto command or autocomplete works. Okay, Neobeam, and this is Neogit initial commit. Okay, now just gonna hit escape here so that this gets out of the way. Take a look at this. To submit the change, you can do Control C, Control C. Okay, so just gonna do that here. Control C, C. I just leave Control pressed and I type C twice. Control C, C, and we're gonna notice that it shows here unmerged into origin main. It shows here at the very bottom. How do you push the changes? I don't even remember. Let's see. Is it, let's go to the help. Push. Okay, you push the same way with uppercase P. So let's do uppercase P here. This shows up and it's just going to ask you what you want to do, if you want to pass the different arguments or if you just want to push. I just want to push, that's it. So I'm just going to type the letter P here and it's pushing to origin and it's pushed already. Okay, let's go back to my repo and let's make sure. And there we go. The initial commit is right there, is what we just sent. Okay, so let's go back here. That's basically it. There is one thing that I don't like about Neogit too much, and is that the div view that you get by default doesn't show you specifically like all the changes. Let me expand this, right? And let me just going to wrap the lines. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something. Uh, okay. This is a good example, I think. Yeah, this is pretty obvious. So, of course, it's pretty simple to understand what's happening here. I switched from 40 to 72, okay? And that's really easy to see here. But when there's like a lot of different changes in a line and you want to see exactly what changed, there's no easy way. You cannot easily identify that here. Okay, so if I bring up Lazygit, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. Let me bring this up and let's bring up the colors.sh file. Here you can see exactly the change. Let me move myself over to the other one. There. So here you can see exactly what I'm talking about. 40 was switched to 72. And this is a pretty simple example because that's the only change that I have there, right? But if I would have like 20 different lines, you know, or a pretty long line and I want to see exactly what was changed, this shows it here. But on the other one, on Neogit, I cannot see that by default, but I'm going to show you how you can do that. So let's just quit here out of Lazygit. Here, if you type, let's open the question mark to get the help menu. You're gonna notice that I have this div option. So if I type the letter D and I type the letter D again, div this is gonna show up and it's gonna show me exactly what's being changed. Okay, so this 40 on this line is being switched to 72. I have to go into this menu to be able to see that, and I don't like that too much. If there's someone out there that uses Neogit and knows how to modify that, please let me know. I would highly appreciate it. So let's switch back here. How do you close this tab? Okay, so it's leader, tab, and D. You can see there in here at the very bottom, to close the tab is with D. If I close that tab, that shows me the div view, just in case that you want to open that div view window. So let's stage, or let's push this file. Let's commit this as well. Remember that it's tab to fold, unfold, or what if you want to navigate to this file, you can do it with enter. Okay, so if instead of tab here, I hit enter, it's gonna take me directly to the file, which is pretty cool. I like that. Compared to Lazygit, I like that way more. Because in Lazygit, you can get to the file. I usually open it with Neovim, but it doesn't open it directly in Neovim. Yeah, I don't know. I just like this way better to go to the file from here. Lazygit running outside of Neovim works as a do-it-all Git manager tool versus Neogit works only for Neovim files, text editable files. Or am I looking at this wrong? Exactly. Yep. That is exactly the way that it works. Lazygit, I think you're talking about Lazygit here. You know, it's a standalone tool that you can run on your own. Okay, so that is one of the, or there's a difference between Lazygit and Neogit. Okay, as someone in chat mentioned right now, Lazygit is a tool, a standalone tool that you can open from outside your terminal. I can open Lazygit from here. Okay, if I want. How do I quit this? I'm not exactly sure. Quit? How do I quit? Quit? No. Quit? Oh, with escape? No, it's not quitting with escape. Doesn't wanna quit. Doesn't matter. Let's just close the tab. But Neogit is a tool that is or that runs directly in inside Neovim as a plugin. Okay, it's a Neovim plugin. So Neogit, you're able to run it only from within Neovim. Lazygit is the standalone tool that you can run outside Neovim. But I always run Lazygit from within Neovim. The last time that I ran Lazygit outside of Neovim was like never. I always run it from within Neovim. So this solution is perfect for me. I don't need to use it outside, to be honest. And if I'm outside Neovim, I would just use regular git commands. But why would I do that? I haven't done that in a long time. So what else was I gonna demo here? I think that was pretty much it. Let's see if we come here. We already covered this. Move the commit pane. Yep. 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 What I dislike about Neogit. How to install it? We already did this. This. How to create branches. I don't even know how to create branches. Let's see. Branch. Oh, with B. Okay, apparently you can create a branch with B. I haven't tried it. There's one last thing that I wanna demo on Neogit as well. What if you just wanna commit a hunk? Okay, so let's say that I'm on a file and I don't wanna commit the entire file. Let's see. Oh, not this one. Okay, this. Let's say that we have this file, for example, and I don't want to send all of it in the same commit. Okay, this is the snacks.lua file, and this section is for, let's see, above leader TT. Okay, for my tasks. What is this? A glove. Okay. Okay, for only to show in Markdown files. Okay, this is the same. And what about this? Okay, let's say that I want to commit only this specific section here. I don't want to commit the entire file. How do I do that? Let's try. I'm in this, my cursor is placed here. I think that if I type S, it's going to stage that hunk, and it did. It didn't do it for the entire file. Notice that this is still here, it's still here as well, and this is still here at the bottom. So this, let's expand it. Yeah, just this specific hunk right now. What if we want to commit this? Let's type the letter C to commit. C again. And we're going to type our commit message here. Snacks.lua. Neovim. Okay, remember that we leave control pressed, CC, and that committed our message. Okay, now what if we want to commit the rest of it? We can see that here at the bottom under stashes, unmerged changes. And what if we want to commit the rest? Where is it? Here, I'm just going to type S to stage this. I'm going to type C to commit it, C again to commit it, and I'm just going to type my message. And Neovim snacks.lua, add it, filter for markdown files. I don't have to go to normal mode. I can do it from here, Control CC. And the changes are here at the very bottom. I have these two that are unmerged. Let's see if we go back to this. What is this? IP Finder. Okay, this is something that I use at work. So just going to stage this as well. S to stage, C to commit, C to commit. Gonna type my message, and that is going to be scripts 7 IP Finder .sh initial commit. You see, and now that my changes are here at the bottom, I'm just gonna type uppercase P. Then I'm just going to type the letter P, and the changes have been pushed already. Okay, how can I confirm? If I quit this with Q, can I can quit it with Q as well. Didn't remember. So let's just go back here. Let's just refresh the page. And our changes are there. Okay, so what do you folks think? Which one do you like better, Lazygit or Neogit? After, just doing the basic stuff. That's what I use. That's what I use it the most. I don't do much advanced stuff. Just that pretty much. Any thoughts? Neogit, is there a context aware which key like to show relevant key options? Yeah, I think it does it depending on where you're at. Let's see. So if I'm here, but if I stage this, and here if I type C, what happens if I type, no, this is just a search here. No. So the help is outside here. Yep, it seems that it's just here outside. But look at all the different options that are available here for people that do all this stuff. Yeah, they're gonna find this pretty useful. Remember, it's you to unstage. You have been using Lazygit. Yep. I've been using Lazygit for a year now, a little bit over a year, I think. And it's amazing. It's a wonderful tool. But to be honest with you, out of the two, I think I like Neogit more because it gets out of the way. I don't have that commit message in there. And I don't know. It's cleaner, it's simpler, and I like that I can open a file directly from here. If I hit enter on this file, just takes me to that file. If I open GG, takes me back here to where I was. So it's pretty simple to navigate between Neogits and your Neovim buffers as well. The only thing that I don't like about it too much is what I mentioned a moment ago, that I cannot see specifically what is being changed on a line. I would like to have this highlighted. I know that it's pretty simple here, and that is this what is changing, but I cannot see that here. Whereas in Lazygit, I can see that. So if I come to the same file, which file was it? Here. mic level or color, whatever file it was, this one, I can see exactly that this 0 is being changed by a 2 in Lazygit, but I cannot see that here unless I open the diff view. Remember that to open the diff view, you just do it with the letter D. You do D again. You can see the diff view, which is pretty amazing, you know, and you can see that stuff in there. Let me move out of the way. So you can see here, 0 is being changed here for a number 2. That is the only thing. Not a deal breaker. I think I'm going to be using Neogit to replace Lazygit. We're gonna see how it goes in a couple months. I'll keep you guys updated. Let's see how I quit this. Leader, tab, and then D. I think it's leader, tab, D. Yep, to close that tab, the div view. I think I'll have to create another key map to do that in an easier way, but we'll see. Yep, I agree. We have our little things. Now let's see. Was I saying about the div highlight for modified lines? You might have the view one by typing DD in the unstaged changes section. Okay. Yep. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah, DD. Yep. That's what I did a moment ago. You know, DD. Yep. But I don't like going to that other window. I would like to see it here directly. So if someone knows how I can see what specifically changed in the line from this view, I would highly appreciate it. That would be just amazing. Maybe tweaking the highlighting for div change and div changed. I think I have them. Let's see. I think I changed them. Let's see. Uh, yep. I have div change. Yep, I do modify that, but you say that I should switch it for div change, right? How is it to bring up the highlight groups? Wusa, are you still there? No, it's not high. No. Because I do change it. I change the highlight group for div change, but I want to see what is div changed set to. Highlight groups. How do I see the highlights? I don't remember. Hold on, I think I have it somewhere here. Oh, no, it's not with inspect. Highlight, yeah, it's highlight. What? It's highlight. What happened? Did that change or something? Why don't I see highlights? That's weird. Okay. Okay, there we go. They've changed. Okay, so I said they've changed to something. So you're talking about they've changed. Would that make a difference? Should we try that? Foreground. Let's set it to something else. To 1. Let's see. Nope. No, I don't know how to change it. Switch to Emacs and use Magit. Now, only true GigaChats have told me to switch to Emacs. Like Prot, Prot is a huge GigaChat. You guys know who Prot is? And I see that really smart people use Emacs. I admire them, but I don't know. I have to think about it. I have created my sort of Emacs here in Neovim. Like I have my daily notes. I have my notes here. Markdown Oxide, it works beautifully. I can see like this is like Obsidian pretty much. I can see which files reference this file. I can see all the references. Man, it's getting pretty close. I can even view images. You can do that in Emacs as well, but we can do it in Neovim, right? So it's getting pretty close. I don't think I need to switch to Emacs, but it does have its benefits for organizing your life, the calendar, and all that stuff. Man, that's amazing. That's something that I would like to try, but we'll see. Maybe someday. Where can I find config? What config are you talking about, Blocus? My config? Yeah, prop for Emacs. The GOAT. What other Emacs users have I talked to? Okay, so my config is in my dotfiles. I haven't pushed all the changes yet, and I'm way faster pushing in Lazygit right now, so just push them. Let's just push them right now. I don't need to push this one. Eldritch, nah, discard this. Mason, let me update my config, and I'm gonna show you where my dotfiles are, okay? You've been this no, daily note. Removed. This root.sh. Calendar. Oh, this is just auto formatting. Let's see about this. Oh, hold on. Yep. Itchy bar items. I'm way faster with Lazygit because I'm extremely used to it. I have used it for a long time. I'm not as fast in Neogit, but I'll get used to it. I just want to push these changes because there's people that have been asking about the latest changes in my dot files, and I haven't pushed them like in a month or something. And I have created videos about them, so they're outdated there. Sketchy bar, okay. GitHub, okay, I don't need this. SKHD. Okay, this is Outlook. This is work related key maps. Yep. And this. And Tmux. Okay, I'm not using Tmux anymore. Um, Calendar, no. And yep, those are all my changes. I just pushed all of them. So if we come here to my dot files, you'll be able to find my configuration there. So just go to my dot files. If you come to my README, you will find the instructions. How can you apply my dot files? Well, no, don't do that because that's just my entire configuration. But in case that you want to test out my Neovim config, my Neovim config, okay, which is where I do everything and it has all of the stuff that I have configured. Follow the instructions here. You'll be able to find them there. Now, keep in mind though that I don't use Linux. I use macOS. That's my daily driver. So if you use Linux, there's some stuff that will not be compatible with your config. Like what I was demoing a little while ago. If I take a screenshot here, if I take a screenshot of this, and I wanna save this screenshot, from my clipboard into Neovim, right? Let's say that I wanna save this into this directory. Just gonna do letter P. Notice that the screenshot was pasted there from the system clipboard, right? Or if I want to copy a file to the system clipboard, right? Like this file, leader YY, notice that it copied it here to the system clipboard. This is macOS related. This is not gonna work in Linux. I don't use Linux, so uh, stuff like that is probably not gonna work. A few things here and there. Most of the things are gonna work, but yep, most of the stuff will actually work. Bye, Wusa. Why do I call my config Neobeam? Because my wife thought that it was that Neobeam, how is it pronounced now? I'm confused. Neovim. Okay, my wife thought that Neovim was written like this. Neobeam. Neobeam, as in sunbeam, as in a ray of light. you know. So she thought it was written Neovim. And it was like a year after I started using Neovim that she told me that she thought it was Neovim. So all that time for a year, she thought that it was written that way or that it meant something related to a sunbeam. But no, I just named it Neobean just to play around. Because I'm a beaner, I eat beans almost every day as well. So that could be another reason too. Do you use Lazy or Nightly's built-in package manager? I still use Lazy, and I haven't migrated to Neovim 0.12. I'm waiting for Neovim 0.12 to be released, and probably after that, I will try Echasnavsky configuration, the min-max config that he has, so that I can build my own config on top of that or using that as a base. But I'm not sure yet. That's going to be a lot of work as well, I think. And I'll have to think about it. Because I got used to LazyVim quite a lot already. And I already know my way around it. So we'll see. All right, chat. So if my remote repo is behind or equal to or ahead of my local, attempting a push. I'm not sure if Lazygit shows you. You mean so that you pull before, right? So that you do a pull before. If there's changes on the remote, you pull them first. But if there's something that lets you know that there's changes on the remote, so you can pull them before you push. Is that what you're talking about, Mitchell? I don't think Lazygit shows you anything like that. No, I don't think it does. You find out until you try to push, and it's like, God damn. All right, chat. So we've been here for how long? 2 hours. God damn, it's a long time. Just up, yo, you're behind. Yeah, I don't think Lazygit doesn't show you that. I remember at my previous job, it was like you try to pull, you try to push, and it was like, nope, you cannot. So you had to pull the changes, and it was a mess. So no, I don't think. I'm not sure if Neogit does. I don't think it does either. But what do I think about the possibility of system update breaking everything and forcing you to reconfigure everything again? But what kind of system update would break everything? Lazygit shows, oh, look, here's an answer, Mitchell. Lazygit shows you the behind count in the branches panel right to the branch name without having to pull. Let's see. Where? In the branches panel. Oh, okay, okay. So is this what you're talking about? The panel right to the branch name. Okay, so maybe here. Yeah, okay. It seems that it would show it here then. According to what Wusa is saying. I don't know. I haven't paid attention, to be honest. Okay. You just did it with your local FCF repo. Now, system update breaking everything and forcing you to reconfigure everything. Now, that's one of the things that I like about macOS, that my system never breaks. Notice that I have 15 packages that are outdated right now, right? So you can see that here at the very top. Let's see if we can confirm that, right? So if we do brew outdated, it's gonna show me that there's these packages. Let's see if we can get just the count here, word count. No, that's not the one. here. So yep, 15 packages that are outdated. 15. I could update the packages while we are on stream right now, and I can guarantee you that nothing is gonna break. Everything's gonna keep working. The last update that I ran in Brew was, I think, 2 days ago, and I hadn't updated packages like in 2 months. I just ran an update. All of the packages updated. macOS just started. I rebooted my computer today actually. OBS works, DaVinci Resolve works, which is what I care about the most. My terminal works. As long as the essential tools that I use work, I'm fine, which is the terminal, OBS, DaVinci Resolve, and other tools that I use. Which other ones do I use? Let's see, Brew, List. Uh, yeah, these are the packages that I have. Well, these are just dependencies. These are not just all of the ones, but my window manager hasn't broken. I don't remember something that has broken. Maybe if you update the macOS version itself, stuff could break, but I don't update. There's updates that I have pending in macOS right now. Look at this software update available. This is the new macOS, and it was released, what, months ago. I ain't updating to that shit. I'm just gonna skip it because I don't like this glassy feel and look on macOS. So, nope, that is not. No, I'm not. I'm not upgrading to this. I will like these security. These are probably security related patches. Let's see what it's about. Nope, get the fuck out of there. So these I would install. What is this? Security fixes. Yep. So I'm gonna apply this, and these updates. And I know for a fact that nothing's gonna break. macOS is just gonna keep working the same way that it does. But if I upgrade to the other version, to the other macOS version, the 20, what is it, 26? Yep, 26. I'm not sure if something is gonna break or not. And probably it will break. So, no, I don't trust that macOS version. I'm gonna give it a couple years for it to be polished, and then I will probably update to it. But for now, no. I'm staying on this other version for now. You upgraded to that macOS 26. You disabled all the glassy effects. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna make the computer slow. Well, my computer is kind of beefy. I think it will be able to handle it, because it's pretty powerful M4. It's a laptop, but there's a lot of things that they need to work on, and there's stuff that is gonna break. I assume related to the window manager that I use, you buy in other applications, and I don't have time to deal with that. No, I will not. I hate when something breaks in the computer. And nope, I don't want to invest not even a single minute, fixing something that I didn't break. So I'm just gonna skip it for now. What's Delta? Is it possible to use Delta and Neovim? Yep, actually, that's what I use. Let's see. If I come here and I open my Lazygit config file here, this is in my .files as well, by the way. Okay, so these are my .files. Delta. Look, you can set the pager, So that's the reason why mine looks like this. Okay, because by default it looks like shit. It doesn't show you useful information. But look at this. This shows me pretty much all of the information that I need. Okay, maybe I'm in the way, you're not able to see it. Let me see if I switch here. Okay, here. So look at this. It's because of the pager that I'm using. I'm using Delta, and that's what shows me this change here. Lines that the lines that's being changed, exactly what's being changed on that specific line, you know. So it's because of that pager. So again, where can you see that? Here. This is in my .files, Lazygit config.yaml file, and that's in the pagers section. Git pagers, here's the pager delta, and here's the arguments that I pass, okay? Wrap max lines. I said the wrapping as well. Something that you need to keep in mind though is that you have to install Git Delta for this to work. Otherwise, it won't work, right? So I'm on macOS. I installed it through Brew. If you're on Linux, you installed it your way, but you'll be able to find the documentation here. Okay, so just go to this link. Man, that's the beauty of Kitty. Did you guys know that you can open links from Kitty directly? If I just click on this link, it's just gonna take me to it, and it's just amazing. It's impossible to disable heavily rounded corners everywhere on macOS 26. But why did you update Bye-bye? How do you pronounce it? Bye-bye? Boyai? Whatever, however it's pronounced. What got me into Thailand window managers and customization? Prime. It was Prime. It was specifically this video. Let me show you guys real quick. Imagen. I'm not a developer, you know. I'm not a freaking developer, but I used to use my computer like a peasant some years ago until I watched this video. Which one was it? This one. My developer workflow. How I use i3, Tmux, and Vim. So this is the one. If you guys haven't watched it, go and check this video out, because it taught me a different way to use my computer. I used to use my computer like a complete and utter peasant. Now it's way better. Once you understand that the way to go is a single screen, single application on the screen, full screen at a time, man, it's amazing. And the only reason for that is I can grab my laptop, I can take my laptop somewhere else, and my workflow is gonna be exactly the same. If you grab your laptop, you take it somewhere else, and you're crippled, you're not using your computer correctly. You should be able to take your laptop somewhere else and use it the exact same way. Your workflow should be the same, and you should be as efficient as when you're sitting on the desk compared to when you're using your laptop. That's why I'm against using more than one monitor. That's why I'm against ultra wide monitors. They don't make sense at all. And I'm against, big monitors. I used to have a 52-inch TV as a monitor. No, I was wrong. What do I do in my job? Okay. Uh, I'm a network engineer right now. Okay, I'm a network engineer. I used to do some sort of DevOps in my previous position. I was like a monitoring engineer. I used to deal with all the monitoring tools in the company. There's companies that use a lot of different tools for monitoring their infrastructure, right? So they need to monitor network equipment, they need to monitor Linux servers, they need to monitor Windows servers, they need to monitor web pages, they need to monitor whatever you can think about, they need to monitor, right? So I used to manage the tools in the company, and I did that for quite some time. I was in the knock as well in that company, dealing with incidents. Man, that's not fun. Dealing with incidents, it's a pain in the ass, but teaches you a lot, So I spent there. Now, well, they laid me off. Now I'm working as a network engineer at a different company. What do I do? Firewalls. Right now, what I do is firewalls mainly. ASAs, the Cisco ASA and the Palo Alto um, firewalls as well. Panorama. It's a huge company, has a lot of firewalls, so I need to create connectivity. The developers need yeah, it's projects basically, create connectivity for new projects. Would be fun to work with me. Eh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what people think about it. I do what I have to do and I stay out of the way. Yep. I'm not as fun at work, but it's good. I like learning new stuff. I was a network engineer many years ago, because I started with Cisco, Juniper, and all that stuff. And I got certifications from Cisco. I got my CCNA. You guys don't know what this is, but there's a company out there that is called Cisco. They have certifications. They have CCNA, CCNP, and all that stuff. So I got several certifications, including the CCNP. And then I moved to something else, and I just forgot about networking. But now, given the situation out there, I went back to networking. That's what I'm doing. So it's good relearning all that stuff. What is your favorite Neovim plugin? Why did you make your Neovim Markdown setup so similar to Emacs org mode? I didn't know that I was doing it similar to Emacs because I did it before I knew about Emacs. I just realized the power of Neovim. In Neovim, you can do pretty much anything that you want. If you can think about something, if you have an idea, you can actually create that or see that live in Neovim. Like the file thing that I was sharing, if I take a screenshot and I want to paste it in a specific directory in Neovim, that's an idea. And Neovim allows you to do that. In Neovim, you can do whatever you want. If I want to create a repo in GitHub directly from Neovim, I can do it. So that flexibility and that gives you that freedom to do whatever you want is I come from Obsidian and I used to take notes in Obsidian, so I just wanted a way to have something similar in Neovim. That's I think that it's similar to Emacs now, but it wasn't the intent. Did some of my coworkers start to use tile managers, Neovim, thanks to me? No, none of them. They don't give a crap about any of that stuff. Nope. All of them use Windows. My friends, all of them use Windows. They don't give a crap about Mac OS. And the ones that use Mac OS, they just use it like normies. Just you install apps on Mac OS like a normal person. They don't give a crap about window managers. Neovim, they don't care about Neovim. Terminal, they use the default terminal. So the only people that I can talk to about all this is with chat and with the people in Discord, actually. But other than that, nope. Mitchell says, as a content idea, I sometimes find myself getting so deep into my Neovim or even terminal config that I spend waste out of a time that I could have spent on actual work. How to set boundaries in your config, man. That's a rabbit hole that we all have to go into. And I'm sorry, but there's no way around that, because I have spent countless hours, hundreds of hours tweaking my Neovim config, and you never stop. You freaking never stop, and you cannot stop. It's just you won't stop, man. Nothing will stop you. It doesn't matter what I say to you, what your mom says to you, what your wife says to you, what your waifu body sized pillow says to you. It doesn't matter. You will go into that rabbit hole. You will not get out of there until you have tweaked Neovim perfectly. You can move on and then start learning to program, but it'll take you years. And yep. So I don't know how to set boundaries for my own config because I'm always tweaking it. It was worse some time ago, but now it's gotten better. I finally reached the point in which I have what I need in U of M, like after 1.5 years. and I don't tweak it too much anymore. Like Neogit, that's the last thing that I did. Before that, Markdown Oxide. Okay, so I replaced Marksman with Markdown Oxide. But it has reached a stable point right now. I have what I want and I don't tweak it too often anymore. But at the beginning, man, I spent the entire day configuring Neovim for months. I didn't do anything. So there's no way around that. Why Brew and not Mac ports? I don't know. Brew is what's popular right now out there, and that's what I started using when I started the channel like a year and a half ago. That's what I learned how to install packages in macOS, and that's what I got used to. I have my brew files. Where are they? Here, right? So I have my different brew files, like essential, optional, base packages, right? So when I deploy a new Mac, I have a script, that clones all my different GitHub repos, installs all the different packages that I have in these brew files, and I don't know. I just got used to it, so I don't see the point of going to Mac ports. I haven't tried Mac ports, to be honest, and all I know is that Brew is also available in Linux. I don't think anyone on Linux uses Brew though, but you know. MacPorts has way more packages, and since it compiles from source, it doesn't rely on Rosetta 2, which is getting removed in OS 28. Now, when I go to a repo, that's the thing, for all different tools that I use, let's say that I go to Yabai, I always see Brew. I see the packages in Brew, and I haven't seen many documentation, related stuff. Um, or Mac ports. Let's go to Yabai. Let's take a look. Okay. Let's see. That's the window manager that I use, by the way. What is this? Asmic B? Is this a fork? This is not the guy. Oh, did he change? It wasn't his name. His name was Kokeya something. I think he changed his GitHub username or something. Because it wasn't this one, but it doesn't matter. It's the same repo. 28,000 stars. So if we go to the instructions, installation, and okay, here in the wiki, let's see. If I can be installed via Homebrew from a custom tab. Where is it? Where's the command? Where's the freaking command to install it, man? Is it here outside on the main repo? Brew? No, it's somewhere in here. But every time that I go to a different package, to a different package that I want to install, most of the times I see brew. So I get my installation command from the official package because I don't know who uploads stuff to Mac ports. I don't know how secure it is. I go by what is on the repo itself. So if the creator of the tool that I want to install recommends Brew, I assume that they are the ones that uploaded the package to Brew and it's trusted. So that's what I go with. So I don't see Mac ports too often in documentations. So I couldn't tell you exactly. Let's see if we search for Mac ports. If I search for Mac E, nothing shows up actually, but Brew, yep, Brew shows up. meaning it will not break if Apple changes some things around. Yeah, not quite sure why everything uses Homebrew now, considering map ports, yeah, everything uses Homebrew. If you go to any of the repos, most of the repos that I use, most of them mention Brew. Even Kitty, let's see, even the Kitty terminal. And COVID, which is the creator of the Kitty terminal, does not even use macOS. Well, he uses macOS to develop his other application. What is it called? Caliber, right? Uh, but if we look at Kitty, right? Let's take a look. We go to Brew. If we search for Brew here, there's no Brew installation instructions. Yeah, there are. I found them somewhere. No, just Perl command. But no, there is. That's the thing about documentation, man. Some of it lives on the documentation page. Some of it lives on the GitHub repo. So every maintainer is different. I don't know. I don't remember. What's my favorite Neovim plugin? Why did you make your Neovim Markdown setup? Okay, I already answered that. Nix does it better. Nix. God damn. Nix. I've thought about Nix as well, but it's similar to Emacs. I would spend too much time on Nix. Way too much time. And Neovim, I spent hundreds of hours in Neovim. It was too much. I'm tired. I'm done configuring stuff. You know, I spent way too many hours configuring macOS as well. You know, the way that you look at right now, and the useful that it has become for me didn't happen overnight. This has been months, has been way too many hours. So I am done. I don't want to go into the next rabbit hole because I know that it's going to be really time consuming. It's going to make my life easier in the long run, probably. If I need to deploy a new Mac, you know, it'll be faster to deploy because my configuration will be, you know, in config files and it's going to be way easier, but I don't want to invest the time. Emacs and NixOS, man, imagine that. Nah, two rabbit holes, too complicated for me. The keyboard, what keyboard do I use? Right now, I'm using this one. Let me switch to the other camera. Hold on. This camera. Okay. Right now, I'm using the Toucan. How was it? Do you guys see it there? It goes like this. Like this. The split keyboard. Toucan. Um yeah, I've been using this keyboard for like a month or so. I used the Glove 80 before. Just the one here. Also a split keyboard. I used the Glove 80 for like a year and a half, but I think concavity is a scam, to be honest. It's not as great as they make you think it is. It's decent, it's awesome, it's way better than using a normal keyboard, but concavity is not as good as it seems. This this is good. This is good. I like a flat keyboard, I think. So we'll see how it goes. We will see which one I like better. Dvorak, no. I use QWERTY. I'm not gonna make that mistake because I have a daughter and I have to teach her, you know, computer related stuff. She's gonna be using QWERTY. Nope. Or the entire world switches to the Dvorak and we all go that route, or we all stay in QWERTY. But I'm not gonna be using Dvorak and my daughter QWERTY, and I need to be translating to QWERTY. No, so that's why. And I also have to share, well, not share, but My wife sometimes needs help on the computer, so I don't want to sit on a QWERTY keyboard and not be able to type at all. So no, I'm saying in QWERTY. If I use Raycast, oh yeah, of course I use Raycast, man. How couldn't I use Raycast? But I have mixed feelings about Raycast because it's useful. It's a tool that I cannot live without. But the ones that I use the most, this I have a key map, right? All of my workflow is keyboard centric. Okay, so I rely a lot on my keyboard. Let me switch to this other scene right now. Okay, so for example, if I type on my keyboard, right, my right thumb, and I type the letter R, which is for Raycast, and I type the letter J, I know it's 3 keys, but that brings up this raindrop plugin, so I can search my bookmarks. I use that one a lot, right? So if I bring this up and I want to go to Twitter, I usually do it this way. Okay, so this is one that I use a lot. For example, to look for videos, I use that when I'm recording videos as well. So if I do this, this comes up, and for example, you should watch this interview. Do you guys know who the creator of Kitty is? It's COVID Goyal. God damn, he's a genius. So he's the creator of Kitty. He's also the creator of Caliber. This is the part two, or this is the second interview that I did with them. Pretty amazing. So this is with the Raycast plugin. I can search for videos. What else do I use Raycast for? I use those two for bookmarks to search for videos. Um, Other than that, I don't think I use too many. I installed a lot of different plugins, and I thought that I was gonna use them. No, you just end up using a couple, But when I started with Raycast as well, I spent hours configuring that shit. Now I just use a couple, but it's plugins that I cannot live without, actually. So I want to replace Raycast. I want to get rid of it, but it's useful. So I think I cannot yet. We'll see. What else do I use Raycast for? Oh, well, snippets. I use Raycast for snippets as well a lot, right? So in Neovim, I have my snippets. I don't need Raycast when I'm in Neovim because I use Lua snip here, right? So let me give the example that I give all the time, right? Let's say that I want to create a new blog post article, in a new blog post entry, right? So let's say that let's move here. Let's create a new file. This file. Notice that I type a semicolon. I'm gonna type here blog post template. If I accept this snippet with Control Y, it's going to insert all of this for me, which is a snippet pretty much. Let's think this. I can hit tab here. It's gonna jump to the next section, description. I can hit tab here. It's gonna jump to this section, February 15. Tab jumps to the next section, new category. Just cat, and I type tab here, and I just hit tab here again, and it's a snippet pretty much. That is the way that I create my blog post articles pretty fast. I have a video about this, but when I'm outside this, when I'm not in Neovim, let me just delete this file. So when I'm not in here and I'm on my terminal, I need to paste some snippets that I use all the time. So I use Raycast for that. Like for this one, DPS, for example, it's just a script that is going to show me which Docker containers I have running and where. I have 3 servers, Docker 1, Docker 2, and Docker 3 in my home lab, and I run different containers in them, right? This is Docker Swarm, actually. So that's one of the things that I use Raycast for, snippets that I have stored. like that one. Or when I need to, for example, share something in Discord, right? Let's say that I need to share some code in Discord. Say we have this. Okay, let's say that I wanna share a snippet of code. Okay, come here and I wanna share this. Just gonna copy this. Gonna bring up our Raycast snippets, this text one. Notice that it's going to add the code block around it and paste the text that I have in my clipboard. So if I hit enter here, it added that as a code block, but it's a Raycast snippet actually, right? So I have different snippets like that. What else do I use Raycast for? Let me see. Oh, oh no, clipboard history. No, clipboard history. I use a different application. Um, what else do I use Raycast for? See. I don't use the AI related stuff. Yeah, I installed this one, never used it. Color picker, I use it sometimes. File search, nah. GitHub, nah. Google search, nah. Guild processes, sometimes. I don't even know what this is. Why is it installed? MCP? Oh, it must be one of their AI things. This, nah. Installed it, never used it. I used this one during university. Quick links. And Raindrop is the one that I use the most. Raindrop and emojis. Yeah, emojis. I use that one as well. If I need to search for emojis. And if I need to search for glyphs as well or icons, I use Raycast for that as well. If I want to run a speed test, I do use it as well sometimes. This test internet speed, but that's pretty much it. Don't use it too much. Kind of him, yeah. I actually interviewed the kind of him guy. Twice. Man, my thumbnails are a work of art. Look at this beauty of thumbnail. So I interviewed him twice. G. The first time was this one, and the second time was this one. I have several videos about it, including some shorts. Yep, but I'm not using kind of him anymore. But I did use it for quite some time. I just uninstalled it and I just moved on. Some other tool that I used a lot as well was this one, which is mouseless. Yes, mouseless. So you drive your, through different stuff with your keyboard. Let's say that I want to go to that releases section on the screen. Just bring up mouseless. I type KPJ, and it clicks there. But I don't use it anymore. No, no. Now that's why I got this keyboard, that it has the trackpad on it, so it's a little bit faster that way. And I don't even use the trackpad too much to be often, too often to be honest. Yep. Will I be making a matrix server because of the whole Discord thing recently? Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning of the stream. I'm gonna be canceling Discord just as a way of protesting because I'm not in favor of companies asking for your ID. If it's going to be something related to a payment, of course they need to verify your ID. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. A lot of scammers in the world, like for example, YouTube, to pay me, you know, they need to verify my address. So they sent me a letter directly to my house, and then until I got that letter, I'm able to confirm my account. They need my ID because there's money involved, and I agreed to that, and I know that they're gonna need my ID, and it's like whatever, I have to do it. There's no way around that. But Discord, hell no. So I'm gonna cancel the Discord server. We have like 400 users there. What I don't know is if we're gonna be moving somewhere else, if we're gonna be moving to Matrix or something. Not exactly sure. We'll see. But yeah, Discord is going away. Yep. We see here that Befredel on Twitch is saying that the Neovim core team uses Matrix. Exactly. Every time that I need to talk to Justin Chesnavsky or Greg or one of those guys, I do it through Matrix because that's what they use. They don't use Discord. So where does your information go to though? When you're not self-hosting Matrix, but you're using, the default service, who owns that? Where does it go to? Like which Illuminati uh entity is behind Matrix? That I don't know. Do I care? I don't. But who really owns that information when you don't self-host? Does someone know? Which country do I live? I live in Guatemala. It's a country right below Mexico. If I ever use the tool Espanso, I used another one which was Rocket. What was it called? I don't remember what was it called. Rocket Typist. That's the one that's the one that I used. I think it must be similar to Espanso, but I never used Espanso. But um Raycast has that feature as well. It can also expand, right? So if you look at my snippets here, like this DPS, for example, notice that the command is in here, semicolon DPS. So if I type that, in theory, it should paste that. And it did, you see? But it's because of, it's included in Raycast already. So you don't need a separate tool. You can do that in Raycast. The macOS huge rounded corners ever annoy me? No, I already got used to them, so it's cool. Look at this on the screen. You see my camera has rounded corners there. So I'm following the steps. Dad job steps. IRC, man. Joshua Blaze is the one that has been telling me to switch over to IRC. I don't like that shit, to be honest. He's like, join me on IRC. Do you guys know Joshua? Joshua Blaze. He also uses Emacs. We had an interview like 11 months ago. I have had him on the channel several different times. A few times with Tony. He has been with Tony. This other one with Joshua Blaze and Lazar Nikolov. But he's on IRC right now, and he's been telling me to use IRC. I tried it, and I'm like, I'm not on the 70s anymore. Eh, you know, I don't know. If I can speak Spanish, of course I can speak Spanish. That's my main language, man. But nobody understands shit of what I'm saying if I speak Spanish. Yeah, but that's my native language, Spanish. You're a big fan of Blaze, yeah. Pretty cool dude. We wanna do a stream uh with Joshua. and talk about not tech related stuff, but talk about life, talk about drug abuse, talk about um, if there's any our thoughts on God, our thoughts on all that stuff. But I'm not sure if that would click with people or not. We're gonna think about it. Gonna think about it. The early days of Matrix.org, when it effectively worked as a free node bouncer as well. I have no idea what that means. You know, I have only used Matrix because I have to talk to the Neovim guys, and that's it. If I want to talk to a Chesnowski, I do it through Matrix because that's what he uses. That's what the entire Neovim people use. So, uh, yeah, Matrix login. Okay. To write the current date by typing now in Breakcast. Yep, you can do that in Breakcast. So, for example, um, let me open a new tab here. Okay, and let's bring up snippets. Let's create a new snippet. Okay, so if you do Command K, how do you create a new snippet? Okay, this create a snippet testing. Yeah, let's just type it test, and you have the different options here. Like for example, add a placeholder, time, right? Or date and time, weekday, custom format. You can specify it. So let's say that you wanna use this one, right? It is date time, and let's say that you wanna place your cursor somewhere, right? Cursor position, you can specify that here, right? So after it's pasted, where do you want the cursor to show up? Let's say that you want it here. Cursor, it is daytime, it's test. Let's just set the keyword to test, semicolon test, save snippet, okay? Let's see if it works, test, and there you go. And notice that it moved the cursor to the beginning, right? So it pasted daytime, move the cursor there. Just gonna delete it just in case that I forget about it. Delete snippet, delete it. Yep. I have a few snippets, stuff that I don't remember, and I don't want to remember. Like my LinkedIn, my YouTube. Sometimes I need to paste that information somewhere so it becomes handy. But you cannot run a bash command. What do you mean? Expanso is far better and it's .files friendly. Are you still on Raycast? Why so serious? This guy is changing his name every 2 days, like an insecure girlfriend that is changing her profile picture every 2 days because needs to call the attention. This guy, he was called Why So Serious. Now it's Why So Philip. Then he changed it back to something else. I don't know. Oh, so you're not on Raycast anymore. And I know this guy from Discord, okay? GNU Stow? Nope, I don't use Stow. I use my custom config in my CSHRC file, but I don't use Stow. I just use symlinks pretty much. But what do you guys use Expanso for? And what do you mean Vito? What Vico C? What do you mean run a bash command? Rustcast. How good is it? But what else do I need? Besides what I have with Raycast, what else do I need? I don't need much else. The only snippets that I use are these when I need to paste a code block um, or something, or commands that I just um, don't want to remember, or that I don't remember, right? Let's say that I need to create a new VM or start a new VM. I don't remember this command. I'm not gonna remember it. I'm not gonna remember this. Fuck it. So I just use it for those specific situations. But what else would I use? The rest of the stuff I do it in Neovim. I have all my snippets in here, right? So why would I use an operating system uh, expander when I can do everything inside Neovim, which is like the most powerful tool in the world out there? Oh, okay. In expand, so you run a bash command, get the output, and then replace the text with it. I see. I don't think Raycast is capable of doing that. It's pretty limited. It's more normie focused, okay? It's just for normies. Raycast is not for super power users, okay? Raycast is for it's a nice little app for normal users. But what you're trying to do there, no, that's not something that a normie would do, I think. Do you touch type? Is Panso cross-platform? Okay, that's good. I like that. Like Canada. That's the reason why I moved away from Carabiner Elements, because it's specifically designed for macOS. So I moved to Canada, right? Planning for my jump to Linux, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I think I'm gonna stay on macOS. Sorry, chat. But um being cross-platform is definitely a benefit. Um I don't know. I don't know. Aliases? Aliases for what? Why so serious? Oh, you moved all your stuff to be cross platform? Yeah, not me. Most of my stuff is Mac OS dependent, Mac OS compatible. I have my CSHRC configuration for Linux, which is for my Debian servers, but not for daily driving Linux. If I touch type, yep. Touch type, what is touch type? It's just typing like a normal person, right? Yeah, I do just type without looking at the keyboard, and I type properly because that's essential, I think. It's difficult to get used to, and I don't know why a lot of people don't do it. I see a lot of people that just use three fingers to type, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? But I get it. It's not, I got used to it ever since I was um little, when I was like, I don't know, 12 years old. I didn't have a typewriter back then, but I used to imagine the keys, and I just used to type in my mind with an imaginary, typing keyboard, and I got used to it that way. And then when I had the mechanography classes, that's how you call them in Spanish. Like once a day, I think I used to go to receive classes where you used to type in a typewriter machine, like one of the old school typewriters. uh, I learned it the proper way, so I type normally right now. I couldn't type. No, 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 no. If I see someone typing with the three fingers, I'm like, yeah, no. Mm-mm. Why do I remap so many keys? Because it's the only way, is the OG way to navigate around. How do you think I could navigate, or how do you think I could move myself here without remapping keys? Look at this magic trick. When have you seen someone without looking at the screen do this. Look at this freaking magic, man. You normally see that they're like, oh, what's the device called? That little thingy that they have on the desk that they use to switch scenes. What the fuck is it called? I don't remember. But remapping a lot of different keys is what allows me to move effectively. Stream Deck, yeah, that thing, So that is what allows me to do pretty much everything with a single key map away. If I want to switch to a different scene, like for example, this one, I can do it, or I can switch here. If I want to switch to my terminal, if I want to switch to a different session in my terminal, just a key press away. If I want to switch to my daily notes, a key press away. If I want to go back to my dotfiles, if I want to go to my browser, go back. So it's the only way to navigate your computer efficiently, doing it with the keyboard. I used the mouse for a long time and I was extremely slow. It's not, how would I say it? Scalable. It's not scalable. You reach a certain limit and you cannot pass. No. So I just got used to using my keyboard for everything so I can navigate to the stuff that I use most of the time with the key map. And yeah, I just get there. It's pretty efficient. If I need to go to my terminal, I'm in the chat right now. But if I want to go to my home session and type a command, look at this beauty. Just a key map away, I'm in my home session and I can type a command here, right? Something that is really useful as well in Kitty and that I use a lot is the quick terminal. That's pretty useful, right? So for example, I need to set up OBS, right? I'm not gonna remember the path to the script, so I just use this quick terminal. And let's say that I want to change my audio, right? I just type here audio and I just specify here. I'm not gonna do it right now, right? Because it's gonna change my output device, right? But that's something pretty useful as well. This quick terminal that is available in Kitty. If I use spaces, what do you mean spaces? Oh, the macOS spaces? Keycaster. Yep, I'm using Keycaster. That's why you see those weird key maps here at the bottom. Do you guys think that I'm freaking sending, what is this? Command Shift F18. When the fuck have you seen F18 on a computer? Those are just tricks that I use, to map stuff. But macOS Spaces I use, okay? I use the Yabai window manager and I use Spaces. But all of the applications live on my main space, on the desktop one. There are exceptions that live on different spaces. That's the difference between me and many of the other window manager users out there. They put an application per space, and I think that's a mistake. That's a hot take. If I have Keycaster on when I'm not streaming, no. I only enable it for so you guys can see what I'm typing, because I'm going to make a video out of this live stream, a Neogit video, by the way. I don't know why the fuck we're still here, because I should have ended the stream like hours ago. We've been here for what, 3 hours? But I'm gonna make a video out of this. So I just want people to see the keys that I type. Sometimes I forget, I have a script on macOS. If I type some keys, right, my right thumb SJ is going to run a script that is going to start the recording for me. So this is gonna hide the time here on the right. Gonna hide the time. Is going to open Keycaster so you can see what I'm typing. And what else is it gonna do? Oh, it's gonna put me on Do Not Disturb. You see that I'm on D&D right now? That script is gonna do that. When I'm done with the recording, I run another key map. My time is back. DND is off, and Keycaster is, I quit Keycaster, right? But I don't keep it on all the time. A Q&A, yeah. Maybe I can make a Q&A video from the stream. I think I could, because the Neogit video, I don't want it to be too long. I just want it to be around 10-15 minutes because people don't like watching long videos. So I'll have to cut a lot of stuff on that video. And maybe I'm just going to create another video out of that one with questions and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. What is the tool you use to show us what keys you're typing? Oh, okay, that's the answer to Keycaster. Okay, loading text in green. Yeah, that's Keycaster. Tried Neogit, but it seemed weird because you have a vision of a BIM. Is very, yeah, and that's one of the questions that I asked the main contributor in Neovim, which is Justin. If you guys haven't watched that interview, oh, for example, if I need to restart Yabai, I have another key map, because I have restart Yabai at times so that it positions my apps on the screen correctly, right? But for example, this is the interview with the main um, Neovim maintainer, Justin, right? I asked him that question, what he thinks about extending Neovim. I asked the same thing to Echesnovsky, which is the creator of mini.files and many other plugins out there. I think I also asked the same questions to Gregory Anders, which is also a Neovim core maintainer. And I don't know where this idea that extending Neovim is a bad thing, you just have to adapt the tool to what works for you. I just want to make my life easier. Neogit makes my life easier. Viewing images in Neovim makes my life easier because if I'm creating a blog post, I want to paste the image, I want to convert the image directly in Neovim. And there's people that hate that, there's people that are like, why are you doing that, Neovim is supposed to be used like Vim. You just open a file, edit it, quit, move on with your life, and do the rest of the stuff in the operating system. To me, it is way faster, way more effective to do all these things directly in Neovim, right? Just to give you an example, right? So if I'm here in my dot files, let's say that I have two tabs. Okay, this one related to images as well. Okay, let me go to this other file, my test markdown file. Okay, and let's say that I want to paste an image here, right? But I want to convert it to AVIF, to the AVIF format. Why? Because it's going to occupy just a little bit of space compared to a PNG or a JPG, and the quality is going to be quite decent, right? So let's say that I take a screenshot of me here. Just look at this magic, right? With the key map, if I do right option A, it's automatically going to paste that image, convert it to AVIF, and store it in this specific directory, right? So with a single key map, a couple steps, I did something that would have taken longer if I did it outside of Neovim, right? So this is just to simplify my life, right? And delete the image directly from here. And it's going to delete the file from disk directly, right? So I'm in favor of extending Neovim as much as possible to make your life easier. That's the whole purpose, at least that's my way of looking at it. Now, which chat is which? Which one is the vertical chat? Because we have two chats. Which one is this one? Is this vertical chat? Which one is this? Which one is the main chat? Oh no, this is the normal chat. Okay, so I guess this is the shorts version. Are these the shorts, guy? Okay, this is the shorts one. Okay. I don't know how to organize them. Uh, the one with less activity is this one. Okay, so let's do this. Just going to mirror this, and I'm going to move this one up and lift this one. Oh, no, no. We're gonna put this one down here. Yep, right there. Thank you for your videos. Your channel is gold. Appreciate it, man. I don't know why my hearts stopped working. What happened? Oh, they are working again. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Nice, 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 nice. So, how is the toucan? Let's see. Spaces. How is the toucan? Honestly, I like it more than the Glove 80. Concavity, I was saying a little earlier, is not what they make you think. Why? Because your hands are raised, you know? Like when you're working with the Glove 80, my hands are not flat on the desk. They're raised a little bit, so that made my fingers hurt, I think. So, um I think I like the Toucan better than the Glove 80. The only thing that I think I don't like too much about the Toucan is this part right here. You see this row here is way too down. You know, the pinky row is way too down. Should be a little bit higher, okay? But the keyboard was designed for people with small pinkies, based on what I read somewhere, or maybe I'm making it up. Um, so it's a little bit difficult to get used to the pinky being that low because my pinky is not small. So that's the only thing. Other than that, pretty cool. I like it. What file explorer do you use in Neovim? Okay, here's the short. Here's the short, says Vito. He just spotlighted himself. I didn't say anything. Okay, so the file explorer that I use in Neovim is mini.files. Well, I use, yeah, mini.files pretty much. You see the tricks that I was showing a moment ago, where I can copy stuff from mini.files to my clipboard, like this test.html file, leader YY. Notice that it says copy to system clipboard. Look at this beauty. The file is there in my system clipboard, right? So I can send this to Discord if I want. This is like the third time that I demo this. So I can post it there. So it's pretty neat, you know. That's not possible only with mini.files. You can do that with any other um, file manager. I just do it, you know, I interact with macOS directly from mini.files. But yep, this is the one that I use. I tried oil, didn't like it. I like the preview that I get in mini.files, you know. I like to see what the file is. And for my picker, I use snacks picker, right? So if I need to open my kitty configuration file here in my .files, or if I need to open another file, I hadn't seen that it has the little icon here. That's pretty cool, right? So that's my picker, snacks picker, and file explorer, mini.files. For Yabai on macOS Tahoe, did you notice any issues throwing an app to another space if it's not in view? Can see if to get it to move only works when I throw it to a second monitor. Yeah, I talked about this a little while ago in stream. I have not upgraded to Tahoe and I'm not going to because there's probably a lot of bugs in it and I'm not going to be fixing stuff that I didn't break. So I'm just gonna wait a year, a couple years when it's a decent version and when all of the developers have ported their applications to that new version and go from there. Is Yabai even maintained anymore? That's a question that I have because I want to try Rift. Um, let's see. How often is Yabai developed nowadays? The last release was October 2025. Okay, so it seems that, yeah, seems that it's still maintained. May, April. Because did you guys know that the creator of Yabai is the same creator of SKHD and it's in maintenance mode right now? Yep, bad news, but this is not getting new features now. You can see that here. This repo is in maintenance mode only. It works for me, so I haven't migrated over to this port, because this one is written in SIG, this other one, because the original SKHD still works for me, but just so that you guys are aware. Yeah, Yabai is still maintained. I haven't migrated to Tahoe, and I'm not going to till a couple years after. Oh, the corn. Yep. I think I will love the corn because the corn doesn't have the pinky all the way down, right? I think that's the difference between this and the corn. But I don't know when I'm going to be getting that corn. Supposedly in October last year, but not yet. I don't know. Maybe sometime this year they're gonna ship it. And what made me switch to split keyboards? Pain, forearm pain, and wrist pain. Because the way that you place your hands when you're typing on a regular keyboard, you know, just doesn't make sense. Because you're typing like this and your hands are all crammed together. And if you type for 8 hours a day, if you type for 9, 10 hours a day, even that I'm not a developer, I take a lot of notes. I used to take a lot of notes. I like to document all the stuff that I do. So I write a lot on the computer, or even if you have to send messages. So if you do that for 8, 9 hours a day, after years, after 10, 15 years, your hands are gonna hurt. And it's not good for handheld if you use a normal keyboard. So if you don't feel any pain now, that's awesome, but you should start thinking about it because you'll get there, The pain is gonna find you. So it's better if you do it now than later. Quality keycaps. Custom Neovim config when. Yeah, I know. When Neovim 0.12 comes out, I will think about using Minmax as my base for Neovim. If I'm gonna switch to aerospace, nope, not at all. Because aerospace creates its own virtual environment. Um, and that's how it manages Windows. Yabai, on the other hand, uses macOS workspaces, and that's what it manages. So that's what I like about Yabai. I don't want an additional layer. I just want to use what is already there. So far it has worked great for me. But you need to disable zip. But yeah, who cares? I have zip disabled for 2 years. What's the big deal? As long as you're careful and you don't do crazy shit on your computer, I think you should be good. But you have to know what you're doing. I'm not saying go and disable zip and install Yabai. No, just do whatever you want. I don't care about zip. I've been with zip not completely off because you need to partially disable zip so that Yabai can do a few things, you know. But yeah, companies care about zip. Yep, that's correct. In my previous job, I had a Mac, right? I couldn't disable zip there, and I didn't. So I used Yabai with zip enabled. Now, people complain about animations, but the animations that you buy and when you switch from a workspace to the other, the animation the animations, look at this shit. Do you see an animation there? The fuck? No animations, right? So, but it's because of the way that I switch applications. You know, I don't switch to workspaces. I don't switch to desktop 5. Nah, that is bullshit. I switch directly to the app that I want to switch, right? So I'm in the chat app right now. I want to go to my terminal, boom, directly to the terminal. Chat application, right? So I think that's why I don't have any problems with, or I didn't have any problems at all at my previous company, even with zip enabled, because I don't switch to the workspaces. I switch directly to the application. And I saw no animations. It worked just fine. Yeah, by even with zip enabled. But people usually switch to workspaces, and that's when the trouble happens. What if I have two instances of the same app? Man, that is a wonderful question. So if I have my kitty here, and let's say that I open another kitty, well, I have kitty configured in this, um, what is it called? BSP mode, right? So this is not gonna work. So let me exit out of this. But let's say that I have my browser, right? I have my browser here, I have my other browser here, right? Look at this beauty. I'm just switching between the two instances of the application there. That's all I need, you know? That's all I need. I don't need more than two instances. If I need more than two instances of the browser, I just start closing shit at that time, right? But this is usually what I do, right? And I use multiple browsers. So I use this browser, I use another browser for work, and I use another browser for university related stuff. So I just switch to the browser that I need. And if I need more than one instance, I just switch, you know, in macOS with command tilde, right? Because that's a keyboard shortcut in macOS, command tilde, that allows you to switch to another instance of the same application. Something that you cannot do in Windows, and that I hate, by the way. Now that I'm using Windows at my work computer, but it is what it is. Okay, Vito says 3 instances of the same browser work. No, I use different browsers because I open different links on different browsers, right? If I open SharePoint, if I open a SharePoint link, I want it to open on my work browser. If I open a link that the domains ends in certain, you know, string, I want it to open on a different browser. I just like having separate browsers, uh, so that way I, you know, separate stuff and I sync them. And if I play video games on PC, nope, I don't play games. I used to. I played Skyrim some time ago. I even live streamed Skyrim like a year ago or something, but I don't play games. I rather waste my time configuring Neovim than playing games, or, you know, fixing something on my computer, or learning something than playing a video game. I did it when I was younger though, but not anymore. All right, chat. So it's been more than 3 hours. I gotta drop. Thanks for joining. That's brave. Yeah. Last question from Benja 2998. How would you work if you were forced to use the stock macOS, the stock terminal, and Neovim with no config? Let me guess. Work computer, um, lockdown, work computer, right, Benja? Is that what's going on? You can still run Neovim, but what do you mean Neovim with no config? Like you cannot install plugins on this work computer, your Neovim? Or okay, or are you talking about a server? Like, do you work in a corporate environment? You're gonna SSH into a jump host, right? You're going to install Neovim there with 20 different plugins and stuff like that. Or are you talking about, because I wouldn't do that. I work with servers, right? At my work, I have to SSH into the jump host. I just use Vim there, right? I just use Vim, plain old Vim, no plugins, nothing, just navigate my way around using regular Vim motions, right? So you have to get used to defaults. That's why I recommend you to watch this video as well. Look, shameless plug here. What is it called? The thumbnail is shit, but it's a pretty good video. It doesn't have many views. Neovim Ultimate Beginner Guide. I don't talk about plugins here. I just teach you to use Vim or Neovim the normie way. Okay, so the way that you would use it in a server. So if I couldn't install any plugins or anything, I would just use vanilla Vim. I would get used to it. I would get used to the file manager that comes with it. Have you heard about Tony? Tony, I think, uses like the default Vim file manager, right? So it's still pretty usable. I would just need to configure it and yeah. Yeah, which IDEs can you use? Install a plugin for that IDE that has Vim motions. Yeah. I At work, at my previous job, everyone used VS Code, and I used to preach about Neovim, and everyone was like, "Fuck this guy. We don't care about Neovim. We are all gonna use VS Code," and that's what they did. But I I try to show the coworker of mine how to use VS Code with emotions. They didn't give a shit. So tough there. How about you were forced to use a Windows PC for work and your user didn't have administrator rights? I am actually forced to use a Windows PC at work now, and it sucks dick. Huge, you know, big time. But first thing that I did, I installed Breakcast, right? I installed Breakcast. I get at least my clipboard manager, clipboard history. The screenshot tool is shit on Windows. The file explorer is shit on Windows. Oh man, nope. The file explorer on Windows is shit. Most of the stuff on Windows is shit. It's a pretty slow operating system, and I'm not sure. After using Mac OS for many, many years, going back to Windows feels horrible. So, but I do have administrator rights on that computer. If I didn't have admin rights, man, I would be pissed because I would be very limited. I would be very limited and I couldn't. No. What I did on the work computer is that I installed Obsidian, right? Because I used Obsidian before and it does allow you to install Obsidian even if you're not an administrator. So give it a try. Install Obsidian, but it's going to ask you if you want to install it for all the users or just your own user. So at that point, when you're installing it, just install it for your own user. And Obsidian has Vim motions. It's not as powerful as Neovim, and I'm not as effective on Obsidian as a Neovim, but it gets the job done. I use that for Markdown, but that's pretty much it, Markdown. Um, Now for an editor, I don't know, man. It's difficult. I don't know what to recommend you there, Just yeah. You don't know anybody that uses Neovim except you. Yep. All my friends, nah, none of my friends use Neovim, none of them. I'm studying right now. I'm in my I'm taking my masters right now, the networking masters. Nobody uses Neovim there as well. So yeah, it's tough. File Exploder. Yep. Linux desktop. Uh, Linux desktop is not bad, man. If you watch videos from Tony, Tony, by the way, he's a guy pretty smart, pretty good guy. He daily drives Linux. A lot of really smart people daily drive Linux. Echesnovsky, the creator of mini files, he uses Linux. Covid Goyal, the creator of the Kitty terminal, that guy is a fucking genius. He uses Linux. He uses Arch, daily driving Arch. So it's not bad. It's just not for everyone. But a lot of really pro people use Linux daily and they love it. I just got used to macOS, so that's what I'm sticking to. Why don't you fully switch to Neovim and stop using Obsidian? Yeah, I did. I switched fully to Neovim. I have many videos about it. And when I have no choice, like at work, I use Obsidian, but that's it. You know, I don't even have Obsidian installed on my Mac OS computer because I don't need it. After trying the power of Neovim, Obsidian is like a small child. It's decent. It's a really awesome tool. Don't get me wrong. It's a great tool, but no, nothing comes close to Neovim. I haven't tried Emacs, you know. Maybe Emacs is pretty good if you edit text, like if you're a writer, stuff like that. But yep. Kitty terminal is bloatware versus suckless terminal, by the way. Man, ban, 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 ban. Nah, I'm kidding. It all depends. What do you use your terminal for? Do you like viewing images in your terminal? Does the suckless terminal allow you to view images? It doesn't? No, not for me, man. Viewing images in the terminal is one of the features that I need in a terminal. And it's not because I like seeing pictures of myself in the terminal or because I want to change my wallpaper in the terminal. What the fuck? I don't care about that. I have used the same wallpaper for like the last, I don't know, year or so. But for my blog post, or if you take notes with images, it's useful. Suckless terminal, the name would say it there. The name describes it. It would suck. So there you go. It all depends. It all depends what you need to use your tools for, right? macOS Tahoe added 24-bit color support to the stock terminal. Oh, I didn't know. But the stock macOS terminal does not allow me to use images. The stock macOS terminal is the same as the suckless terminal to me. They don't do what I need to do, so I have to move on to something else. Okay, now RAM usage on terminals. Okay. Why do you guys care about RAM so much? I know. Some computers are pretty limited, but honestly, I don't care. I don't care. The applications that I'm running right now, let's see. They're using way much RAM. Let's see. I don't even know what my RAM looks like. Let's take a look. Let's take a look right now. Okay. So look at Brave browser eating all that shit up. Right? So why would I care about a few megs that Katie is using or if I would save a few megs, if we compare. Let me move myself to the other way so you can see there. And yep, look at this. Brave is eating a lot of memory. OBS, Brave, most of it, Chat, 400 megs. Where's Kitty? Kitty is eating 141 megs, right? And I have a lot of different instances of Kitty running. I don't have a single one, right? I have 3 tabs. This one is running this command. This one is running Neovim. This one is running BTAP. That is just one of them, right? I have this other session open as well, which is my notes. I have this other session note, which is my daily note as well. And I have some others. So RAM usage for me is not a big deal, to be honest. 4 GB, okay. Yep. So if you have 4 gigs of RAM, I get it. You have to squeeze, every meg of RAM, or save as much as you can. That's a decent use case, but yep, it depends. To me specifically, that's not a problem, but for some people, yep. All right, guys, we're done with the stream. I'm going to be editing the video, and I'm going to be releasing this video, I don't know, tomorrow, maybe? I hope tomorrow. The Neogit video, I don't want it to be over 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. It's going to be a short video. The live stream is going to remain here, but it's going to be available only for members. So they're the ones that will be able to watch it. Next Sunday, we'll see if we'll meet next Sunday. Okay, so the last thing that I want to do is thank the CEO, Web23, web23.com. I also want to thank the different YouTube members. You're gonna see their names on the screen somewhere in here right now. If you like the video, remember, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. Hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.